It's like a family. You get to work with so many people. I mean, we've had people working here. I've been here 29 years, or there's a lot of people here over 20 years working with them.
There's not a lot of competitiveness amongst or between people. We're competing for the owner, but we don't compete against each other.
One of the things that I really appreciate about this company is that we build buildings to stand the test of time. We just don't go out there and throw up a structure just to build another building. We put our heart and soul into the projects that we deliver.
The most recent that I could remember is a Providence job I was doing in Canby, and I hit a dead end in getting my final inspection because the inspector was off for a week. Called Terry Larkey. Well, he says, Mike, you're going to have to get back in your van, and you're going to have to drive back to Canby, and you're going to have to find out where that guy lives, and you're going to have to knock on his door, drag him over to the job, and get your final inspection. And so that's what I did, and it worked out.
I mean, that's another one of those things that it's sort of the reason that you hire a general contractor. Something inevitably is going to happen. The more experience you have, and LCG Pence has a lot of it, the more instances you've had of overcoming those obstacles, so you know what your options are.
The way you hit deadlines is you set bars, and you do it at day one. When you meet a client, you ask what their expectations are. When do they want to move in? What are their milestones? First time you meet the client, the day you sign a contract, you sit down and you find out when are their important dates, and you track those dates every single week. And if a date's slipping, you're honest about it, and you figure out a way to get back to the date.
What I like to do for the client is just make sure that we're exceeding their expectations. You work hard, they see it, they appreciate it, and that's a big part. Just making sure that you're ahead of them. You make their experience enjoyable.
Well, we're in a kind of a unique industry in my mind, that we get to see what other entities, organizations do. So you're building a car dealership, you kind of get to see behind the scenes of how a car dealership works. So I get a lot of pleasure out of getting to look behind the curtain, so to speak. From a customer service point of view, I think that's really helpful, because once I get to see behind the curtain, I get to see what motivates them, how they tick, what they need, it's easier for me to provide that client service to them.
Safety, I mean, in just general, it's not something we govern really from the top down. It's something we model and build a culture around. And we've been successful doing that. And probably one of the key things that we've done and taken another step of that in the last couple of years is really going down to a level where a carpenter or a laborer takes ownership of their own safety. And we put them in charge of actually inspecting the job site themselves, instead of someone always looking over their shoulder and inspecting their work and their way of doing things.
The overall feel of the company is one where decisions that get made about projects have more to do with what the right thing to do is, oftentimes, than what the most expeditious or cutthroat or profitable thing is to do.
Well, I'd say the size of our company really kind of differentiates us from our competitors. You know, we're big enough to where we can take on any project that anybody else can take on, but we're also small enough that you know, as an employee or as a client, you know, you don't feel like you're just a number. I mean, you can get a hold of anybody at any point in time.
I've never seen people work harder at doing the best job that they can do for our clients, and I find that completely outstanding. They are just marvelous.